got into a heated conversation about love. So you want to pick up what you were saying?
Excuse me. One of the things that we talked about during the break was how, with one person in particular, that upon me initially meeting this individual, I would have never, one, I probably would not have even dated him. Mm-hmm. Two, I would have never thought that I would have fallen in love with him the way I did, and I really did. And it was because right away upon meeting him, although his physical appearance wasn't what I'm initially attracted to, and even what he presented wasn't what I was initially attracted to, his interaction with me and his care of me and wanting to please me started instantly. So from that, after, repeatedly doing that, I found myself falling in love with him.
So you just changed your mind to the question that we proposed when we proposed when we first started. Do you fall in love? Do you create love? You fell in love and y'all created love, right?
I still think I fell in love, and it was as a result of me falling in love that we did things that, like I said, perpetuated and kept the love going for as long as we did. We're no longer together, but...
And like I was saying, I think that's the thing that's damaging about relationships, because when you've had an experience like that and then you try to move on and you want to go and find that again, we look for certain things the good things that we had from the last relationship, as opposed to saying, all right, I'm starting all over, which we hate to do when it comes to relationship, because you have to teach somebody how to love you, and you have to find out what they love and all that stuff. And we hold on to stuff that we know in our heart that it's not for us. It's time to move on.
And I know for me, the whole experience of falling in love, I really like and enjoy. But I don't like the getting to know, which you just said. Mm-hmm. However, I think when both parties really take an interest in getting to know the person and really wanting to know what it is that makes Raquel happy, what makes Sophia happy, what makes Jason happy, and vice versa, that's when you can do it, and you can, for me at least, I can kind of let my guard down and go with it, even if it's not ideally the person that I thought that I would, be attracted to. Mm-hmm. And I will say that within the last few years, I have said that I'm going to kind of put aside what I think I like, some of the things that I think I like.
Yeah, so some of the things she definitely not taking off her list. Trust me, I know. But go ahead.
Some of the things that I think I'm attracted to, like height and that kind of, that kind of stuff is superficial. I know
size.
For me. Oh, she was size?
No, the size of the person, because she goes to the gym on it, so she ain't gonna be dating nobody.
But even that is still, I'm a little bit more open, a little bit more flexible, but there's still, because to me, I look at certain things like that, it's like, if it's open and flexible. Girl,
wait, I'm thinking, where's your Bible? You need to get back in the scripture.
Maybe she's shooting this out at me. I have to grip myself.
But the way a person takes care of themselves says a lot about their character to me. Yes. And the time that you take to take care of yourself says a lot about who you are and how you will also take care of me, to me. And I have found that in my experiences. I could be wrong, but I have found that to be true. So certain things are still important to me. However, like I said, height and that kind of thing aren't as important. Whereas, I want somebody that's 6'3" and da-da-da-da. Well, so what if they're 5'9", okay?
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think, and this is just from y'all, listening to y'all talk, do y'all feel the more mature and the more seasoned that we get in our, in our inner self, do you feel like you were more prone when you were younger to want to have more experiences? Or do you feel like when you are more seasoned and you have more knowledge of relationships and the attributes that people have, or that you are, when you're older, you're a little bit more open to
I think I understand what you're asking, and I think for me, I think it's just across the board with young people, even with myself and my sisters and all the young people, my friends that I hung around. I think when you're young, you do think you know what you want. No matter how many times you hear an adult say, "Child, you ain't grown yet. You don't even know what you want. You don't even know what all the world has to offer." Mm-hmm. But, we throw ourselves out there and we're like, she don't know what she's talking about. She old. She don't understand,
right.
Back in the day and blah, blah, blah. But as I got older, I understood what they were saying. And it's just like once you get older and you realize what it is that you want, what it is that you want, the way that you're going about to get it is not the way that you're going to get it.
Right.
Because, you know, just because you do certain things for certain people, in your mind, this is your way of showing them that they love you, but in their mind, that's just what they want. And then once they get that, they moving on.
Right. And I agree. I think I can remember my mother saying, and she says it to my younger sister now, she would always use the expression, keep living for things, because you're right, when you're younger you think you know, but I can look back now at the age that I am now and it's like, yeah, I really didn't know. However, I will say, I think now I'm more open to experience different types of people, but I have a greater awareness of myself and what I like and what I'm looking for, so when I see that it's not what it is, it's easier and quicker for me to say, you know what, this isn't really what I want. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, doesn't mean I'm a bad person, just means this isn't what I want. Like you said about how sometimes we stay with people just because we think or we're trying to make it. Now I can say early on that no, this really isn't what works for me.
Really.
And what I find amazing is when you meet people and they've been single for a while and they say, I'm all right with being single. And it's just like, in my heart, I feel like, I don't think you're all right. I just think you're content. And a lot of people, when they've been single for so long, it's hard for them to let go of all of the freedom that they had, you know, because you're so used to doing, I'm used to paying my bills, I'm used to doing this, I'm used to opening the door for myself. If I want to go here, I'm used to doing this. And then when somebody come in your life and it's just like they try to do stuff for you that you can do for yourself, and this is their way of showing you that they appreciate you and they want to get to know you, and then it's just like, you know, they run to, I can get the door. Oh, hello. I thought you said we was going out to eat. Well, something came up, but oh, whatever. You know, we so quick to cut them out because it's just like, here we go. It's like you're not open to receive that love because you've been so independent for so long.
I think with things like that, there has to be a balance, though. Because I can speak for myself. I've been in relationships where I knew that the other person could take care of me. I knew I could take care of the other person. But because there was a sense of security that I didn't have to run behind them and they didn't have to run behind me. Not to say that we wouldn't do for each other, but it's just, I don't know. I agree with you on the being single for so long that you become independent and you look at that as your own sense of security, because then at that point, if you mess up, you're entitled. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know if it's so much that being single really makes you more independent. Well, I guess it does, but I do agree that
you don't have to commit to anything. You can be spontaneous. You can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You don't have to answer to anybody.
Right.
But just like Sophia said, when you're in a committed relationship, then you have to answer to. You have to also include. You know, you have to always be open to say, okay, well, hold on, I have to check first before it's, you know.
Right. Well, and I know, and again, speaking for me, I want to have someone who is a part of my life and to share that and to share those experiences, and not that someone take care of me or that I take care of them, but that we take care of each other. That our purpose in life is to make sure that we as a unit are okay and taken care of and have the things that we want and need. I know for me and the type of work that I do, I have been able to do some pretty amazing things, meet some pretty amazing people, go some pretty amazing places. If I had a committed partner, they could be there with me to share in some of these things that ordinarily a lot of people wouldn't be able to experience or not be able to experience in the way that I have been able to experience them. Or even to be able, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, to come home at night and in the bed be able to recap and talk about it and show the pictures or whatever it may have been that I have experienced, you know, but I can't do that and haven't been able to do that.
And that's because the old people always say, remember the old saying when they say, you can have all the money in the world, but you don't have anybody to share it with, right. It don't mean a thing.
And it makes me think, like a point of reference, like when you just said that, is that I don't know for those of you, if y'all watched Diana Ross on Oprah last week, that she was saying that.
Girl, I'm talking about Oprah. Girl. I'm talking about Oprah.
And Diana Ross, two of our favorite people.
Yeah, but remember in the interview, if you caught it, that she was saying how she never let herself go as a person in every relationship. But I started to look at and started to think, but not to say that she got a bad rap for her relationships, but it seemed like to me that she never had a man, I guess you could say the stereotypical type of relationship that, you know, one marriage and then it's forever. You know what I'm
because
saying?
she talked about the one, her last husband. She
Who's
talked
the love
about,
of her life.
Yeah,
that he was the love of her life, and he passed and everything. She said the one thing that he wanted was for her to just
be there,
be with him, and she was like, "No, I didn't give up I give up myself in no relationship. I always remain myself."
Right, and see, that's what I think that's very hard for I guess in just today's time, because we're living in a different time. Time set now is that where the values were, when we were growing up, were much different from the generations even before, like our parents' generation. The values and stuff were different because the times were different.
But I think we're going to get back to that, because a whole lot of relationships are breaking up today. I mean, divorce rate is at an all-time high now. And when you talk to a lot of these couples that are divorcing, one of the things that these women are saying is that I gave up myself. When I fell in love with this person, there was no me. I was always with him. I'm always up under him. So me had exit. And so a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are listening. It's just like, okay, if I'm going to be in a relationship, it's going to be me and it's going to be you.
And I think that's an important piece of the relationship. I think you do want to maintain who you are, because that's a part of what I think forces you to fall in love with somebody, the person that they are. But I think the key is to be able to share those experiences when possible, and as much as you can, to include that person, and not as I have to check in, or I have to, but it's something that you want to do. This is something that I'm doing that's great and fun and I will enjoy, and I want Raquel, my lover, to be able to do this with me.
Oh, y'all, when did that happen? What, girl, what's up? What's up? On the Dysh.
Just an example.
Who proposed to who? But no, I think since we're talking about love and we're reaching out to the young people, and I think we need to give them some things that, that we've learned, growing up when it comes to love. And one thing I think that changed my life when I learned this lesson when it comes to love is that not worry about, once you give up worrying about what other people outside of your relationship think about what you and the person that you are in love with, once you don't worry about what they're going to think when they find out that you're with a certain individual, or you and this certain individual are doing certain things, when you give a hill of beans about what anybody on the outside of the relationship care, that relationship would be much better for that.
One of the things that I've noticed that will help in the future, because I personally have had to deal with it, is that do not go into another situation having the same expectations of your last relationship, no matter how good it was, no matter how good the memories were, because that will keep you at a standstill. I remember some of my kids and some of my grandkids used to always tell me, well, yeah, you're going to say that because you've already been through A, B, and C and this, that,
which is what you said when the people told you when you were young.
Right. So, which is basically, like you said, a cycle. So I would say do not hold on to something in the past, because you might miss out on something in the future.
And I would say, and it sounds cliche, but it's very true, you can't really love someone else until you first love yourself. Right. So take the time, if you are single for a while and there's some things that you kind of need to work on within yourself and learn to love about yourself, then you need to take that time to do so, because you really can't love someone else if you don't truly love you. Even the stuff about you that is bad or that other people may deem as negative, you have to be okay with whatever that is to be able to enter into a relationship with someone else. And it's very important that you are true to that, and you love yourself and you know who you are, so you can be honest with the other person and showing them and telling them who you are and receiving who they are and loving them for their flaws as well, because they are also going to have flaws, as we all do.
Right, and another thing that I learned is that love is not sex. Just because you're giving somebody sex doesn't mean that that's love. It doesn't mean that that person loves you because you're giving them the sex. And also, love don't hurt.
Absolutely.
Because how many of us have been in relationships where, we've been beat up, the friends that came and moved you out of the house and took you back, and then 3 days later, you just snuck back over there and all that. Love don't hurt, baby.
Love is also not, the hurt in love is not always physical pain either. And that's what a lot of people need to recognize. Sometimes it can be verbal abuse. Sometimes, emotional. Some, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be mind game tricks and those type of things. And that goes back to me, the consistency of showing, you can know if something doesn't feel right.
Right.
And your intuition.
Your intuition.
Your intuition is
and your feelings. Yeah. You trust them. You have intuitions for a reason.
Yes. And we're going to leave out on this wonderful song about love. I love you. You love me. We're a perfect family.
Patty White, give the dog a bone.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that song.
Yes, this the one.
She wants to ride out. Ride out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Dish. We love you guys.
Love you.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back. Talk about something else. You'll see.